trouble with that new Shure audio device. I went back to the old device and put it on Vocal Boost, and it seems to be working. Let's see if I can get the other one to work well. I'm probably running out of days to return it if I need to. It's an expensive item for it not to work. Again, anything that's susceptible to hacking is, at risk of not working in this day and age. So I got myself a new dryer. I didn't have one, never bought one. I just bought a washer. The apartment I moved into had a little dryer. I've been waiting to try to get a good sale, and Best Buy has a great deal, but their Insignia line, but I can't wait. I'm not going to wait. It's like a week or something. I got the queue to buy a Whirlpool. I'm not sure why Hashem sent that, but well, one thing again, their upper model is the same price. It's not it's the regular dryers, but there's one that has a sensor in it. This is what I was going to get at. It's the same price I was looking at before, but this one has a sensor that shuts your drying off when your clothes is dry, which will save you electricity and not burn your clothes and everything else. So I paid this. I think I'm paying the same price that I was initially. And then AI told me, well, you can fix it on the cheap, and it's not worth it to buy the warranty. And I'm thinking, well, first I have to figure out what's wrong with it. and if that's wrong, then it's going to cost me a ton of money. So like a 5-year for $129 got to be worth it. I mean, if the thing breaks in 5 years, I'm probably just going to throw the money at me because of how much the technicians cost. Especially if it's more than a couple. Actually, no, I guess the shorter. I guess it's 6-1 after, because the idea is if it breaks like a year and a quarter versus 4 years, it might, right? If it breaks a year and a quarter, then they have to spend the money again. Dryers, these basic models don't break all that much, but again, you could be sitting here in a year and have to, a year and a day, and you have to go and replace your dryer. So, and Insignia actually had one that didn't have that feature that was like, I think $399, which is about the cheapest dryer you're going to buy. And the one for $499 was neat because it had digital screen for time. But then that's just another piece that can break. The ones with the dials are generally. I think it also had dials. I can't remember. But the Lord did send the message for the Whirlpool, because I was like, I don't know. I was thinking, which one should I buy? And like right in front of me was this manual for a Whirlpool that I had purchased, some other Whirlpool item. I can't remember what it was. So I'm thinking, well, it looks like it's it. And I got online and they had it. It's just, it's not as smooth as it was. When they curse you off, it's not as easy to do things like hang laundry up. Again, there's several curses that come against it. One, I don't have to buy a dryer, which they want me to spend my money. They're very angry that I got an increase in income. That's one curse. Electric bill, another curse. It would take two all day, man. And they're going to heaven because they have to be members of churches and temples and things, right? Wheel that there. Yeah, that pit bull thing. That was the only thing about a lot of times living in certain places that they allowed those pit bulls. There was a dog, like I told you, in Oklahoma, in Northwest. We stayed at the Wood Spring Suites there, and if the owners, got to say, don't get too close to my dog because he's going to rip you apart while he's walking the dog. And I wasn't that close. I wasn't trying to pet it or nothing. I was, a good 3 feet away. That dog's not supposed to be staying there. But again, it's this idea that somebody knows somebody with a pit bull or they own a pit bull, and it's just such a darling. And you know, there's no actual breed of dog that you can do that with and say they're all. And that's what it is. Oh, they're just nervous because it's a pit bull. I got 2 M&Ms at home, and somebody in the police department, sheriff's department, said that. I guarantee. Yeah, the longer I stay connected to Eliana, the more I can read. I just didn't think she had that kind of life at first. And then when I figured it out, that's when they killed me. They started attacking me with increased fervor. It may be about her. I don't know. That's not an easy one because she's a beautiful person, and it's just very difficult to stay connected and deal with all that. But, I'm one of the big boys, so big dogs. So I gotta try to help. Comes with the territory. That's like when I was telling you about that one young lady that was being prostituted, just in my mind every day. I kept telling you all, don't make them afraid. Don't make them afraid. I'm trying to get them to go to the police and tell them they're being prostituted. Think if I was a younger guy, she'd have been a perfect match. I don't know how I'd get into her life, but if I'd have been awake at a younger age, I probably would have got somewhere. But it would have been a good match, her and I. I don't even know her height. I don't know if we're physically compatible or not. Although, what's his name? Sergeant Snyder, the short guy in the first Engineers. His wife was like, I guess he was about what, 5'3". His wife was like 5'8", 5'9", something like that. She looked like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader too, or something like back then. That's what they would compare her to, because that was their fame day, national and probably global. Right? Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. They used to have people all around the globe knew they existed, bought their posters and stuff like that. But if we meet in the afterlife, it's not touch that. We might not even look the way we look. And actually, Hashem can make a woman look like the way she wants to look with makeup, but natural. Maybe that's one of the gifts for women that Hashem has. Well, we're form and formless, and so is Hashem. Now, form and formless doesn't mean that Hashem takes a physical body. I don't believe Hashem can ever take it. He can present a form. So, like I said, if Krishna was actually Hashem, he would have never been physical. He just would have been here as a form. He never would have assumed matter. Well, I mean, I've been through even in the early days. I was through a lot where I could see the fluctuation of the spiritual environment where, a vision would be strong, a vision would be weak, there would be doubt in the vision, there would be no doubt in the vision. So I know there's fluctuations in the metaphysics of the planet, which, maybe in this day and age we can't get it up high enough for that kind of manifestation of things. Pretty much Raziel. I was doing this before I knew Raziel existed. Even Raguel. I do the Raguel stuff too. Raguel, whatever you say. Because that's how Shem showed me it was real. I'd be doing it for a while and then I go look. No, God and I are close. But I'm not saying God and you aren't close. You just may not know it. I mean, I'm not here to judge people generally down. I mean, I got to fight the evil when I got to fight it. That's it. Not into hierarchies and things. But there's, so my stuff's coming on now because Zoran's doing some of it with the people, the environment that they're living in and all that. I may have healed him when he was a kid. There's a chance. I don't know. I guess he was in New York, but I healed a lot of people in New York City area, but New York itself too, because I made it out to the Finger Lakes. I went to Sawmill Parkway, up and down that a few times. I made it up to Connecticut. I got us up far north. No, Rhode Island. I got all the way up to Rhode Island. I was healing people as far as Rhode Island. Never got to Maine, I don't think. I knew somebody from Rhode Island. I think that's why we healed his area. I think he's a deputy from Providence, I think. It's all in one of the details. I healed Pelham, because of who. But then they tried to set me up like I was trying to attack her or something. Bunch of freaks. Yeah, this guy, they drove. I don't even think they were probably in the vehicle, the principal. Right. But they had this guy drive fast, in one of the Marshal Service, like bulletproof, bullet resistant vehicles. And it was a guy I went to the academy with. He was a deputy at Delaware. I'm like, yeah, knock it off. So they drugged me. That's the only time I had trouble. Like they really drugged me for a long time, but then they super drugged me over an extended period of time. And that's when I lost control of the vehicle. But they're telling these people lies. So this guy, Norm, he's like a retired Baltimore City cop. And I'm going to the gym in Baltimore because I just I was going through my separation and divorce. So I was just up there and I came down there to see everybody at the gym as far as, people that work there and stuff. And at the Inner Harbor there. And I was coming around the corner. I said, there's Norm on the corner. And he's looking at me like I'm Bin Laden. Just like, yeah, what the hell? A court security officer. This guy would do, what was his side job? He was a handyman, but he did it further. He was like a contractor almost. He'd do like some serious work. He'd build a deck for you. He'd do the, roof on a deck or on a porch, or, that kind of stuff. Sitting there at the light, I look over, Norm's looking at me with like he's gonna cry or something. I'm like, what? I'm going to the gym. I had to swing around the courthouse because that's how you get there, because of the one-way streets and all that. And then that cop did me, that black cop. Right. It was weird because certain people knew me that I didn't know.
because I was healing, I don't remember all of it, but I was healing Baltimore, East Baltimore, West Baltimore. I went back and was healing all the places I had been. And, in recent years. And then some. So no, I didn't make it up to that one place in the Berkshires. I didn't make it up there. I don't think I made it up there. So, let's find a place. What am I supposed to do? The curbside pickup, I guess. That's what I'm supposed to say. What was I going to say? I forgot where I was on that. I was going to like healing somewhere. And I can't remember. I healed a lot of places. I healed the Bronx, and I healed Queens. Did some healing in Manhattan. Oh yeah. So that cop, they wanted me to forget that. So this Baltimore City cop targeted me, and mm. and then they hid that ticket. I forgot about it, and they hid it for like 15 years. I finally came up on Real ID, but it didn't come up in Real ID right away because they were hiding it. What they wanted me to do was to go to Maryland, and then they would put me in jail. That may have been why I couldn't get East Coast. I don't know. So, but he's sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and this Rasta dude stops on the other side of the road and watches the traffic stop. But I think they knew who I was. Who he knew, because when I was in Philadelphia, I went to a Rasta club a couple times because it just seemed like a nice place to be when doing drugs or anything like that. And I don't know if they were doing it. I don't remember them doing any. Actually, I don't remember them doing anything around me in the club itself. Just drinking a little bit, listening to good music, kind of deal. South Street, near South Street. But I think the word went out, like, who's this guy and all that. But so the cop was doing me. That was the weird part. Cops doing me dirty while I'm trying to go out on disability. The Baltimore City cop. But the Rastafarians are like, you wonder why they get away with stuff and get money and all that. All right, let me find my phone.